Hello everyone, this is MJ and you are at my channel called Reading This Life. My channel is where we talk fiction, friends, and fun. Today, it's Tuesday and I have a tag for you. I have to think about this one. Stay tuned. Alright, so last week I was tagged by my book buddy Criminali. And it's not like a tag where they ask you what's your favorite flower, or what's your favorite color, or what's your favorite soft drink. No. It's the edge of reading tag. It's a cerebral tag where I have to use this stuff up here. And it's the end of the day, and I've been up since 4:30, and I don't know if I have a lot left. So I'm going to try my best with this. I have nothing prepared. I'm just going to speak from my heart. Okay? All right. Thanks for the tag, Olly. Okay, so the Edge of Reading tag, this was created by Material Gree. Is that how we pronounce it? I will link the channel below. All right, so first, the prompt is give me your own definition of reading or use the creator's. The creator says reading is the act of interpretation of symbols that systematically put together in a certain sequence, allow the reader to extract meaning from them in an active form of creation that can develop into complex narratives. Okay, so my definition of reading is I would like to think of it as an absorption. I don't think osmosis is the word I want to use. I think it's absorb. So my eyes see the words on the page. They translate to my brain. My brain casts images and paints a picture. Okay, I'm a very visual learner. So when I'm reading, at times there's almost like there's a movie going on in my head at the same time. Does that make sense? Okay, so like the creator said, putting together symbols that create a narrative. Same thing, except mine is more cinema, if you will. How's that? That's not bad for the first one. All right, given your chosen definition, are reading and interpretation the same thing? If not, in what do they differ? Sometimes I will just read a book to read a book. I am not looking for hidden meaning. I am not interpreting anything. I am simply just there to have a good time. Wolf Moon. I'm not interpreting anything. That's just Friday night fun at the drive-in movie to me. Other books, I know that I have to interpret. House of Leaves. There's a lot to unpack in that book. Roberto Eco, The Name of the Rose. There's quite a lot that you can unpack in that book. Some books are just meant to be read and enjoyed. Others you can do a deep dive and really get the hidden meaning out of it. So I think it depends on the book for me. How's that? I'm not doing too bad, am I? All right. Are there any practices that you consider reading, but that would fit that or other definitions of reading? Are there any practices that you consider reading? Are there any practices that I consider reading, but that would fit that or other definitions of reading? I don't know. I mean, when I look at art, I'm looking for what the artist may have wanted to convey to me. Art is subjective. Reading, I believe, is also subjective. We all have our values, mores, how we grew up, what's instilled in us, how we perceive the world. That is all subjective. And I think art can be the same way. Whether I'm interpreting a sculpture, whether I'm looking at a drawing, whether I am looking at a print, an Andy Warhol print or something like that, I can try and take out what the meaning is. Sometimes I do that with reading. So I think that's my answer. It's more artistic. So I think art, the symbolism of art, how we interpret it, can be similar to that of reading a book. Every perspective, every view is going to be different because we're not alike. We're all different. We all have unique characteristics to ourselves. So I think that's my answer for the question. Is there an ideal reading experience for you? What is it? Is there a book that represents it? The ideal reading experience for me is waking up before the sun, making a cup of coffee, getting my book, snuggling up on the couch, and just enjoying it. Just simply being present, being mindful, starting my day, seeing the dawn on the horizon, seeing the sunrise. That is a perfect reading experience for me. Another perfect reading experience where we're talking about reading in the actual book is when the first page of text just jumps out and grabs you and pulls you in. And now that book has your attention and it will not let you go. That is a perfect experience for me. I don't have one book that represents it. So, is there such a thing as an ideal reading experience? It follows that there is a scale of value to what? If there is such a thing as an ideal reading experience, it follows that there is a scale of value to reading. What is at the bottom? Well, the ideal, that would be the ideal for me. At the bottom is opening a book and starting it and just having the words fly over my head and not really absorbing it and not really getting the comprehension. And maybe I'm still trying to piece it together. Some books, you can go all in within the first few pages and you are hooked and you know this is going to be a great book and you are dialed in for the ride. Other books, maybe a slower burn. Other books may not be the book that you thought it was going to be. So yes, there is a bottom range to that for me, but the setup is the same. The setup is the same. Just the book itself, maybe not the right combo for yours truly. Is there a book on that bottom that you love or enjoyed as much as those on the top? So a book on the bottom would be one that I would probably say something like The Name of the Rose would be the bottom for me. I enjoyed it, but it definitely was a slow burn, and it's not something that I normally read. And I didn't look too much for hidden meanings, and I didn't look for, anything like that. So I love the book, but it was a completely different experience than, say, if I read The Gift of the Most Precious Substance. That book gripped me within the first 5 pages, and I was all in. 2 different styles of writing, 2 different books, 2 different genres, and both are absorbed the same way, but the way that it hits you is different. I hope that answers the question. So even though it's on the bottom, it's still a good book to me. It just was processed in a different way, and it resonated with me in a different way. My brain is going to be fried after this. Okay. Is reading Is reading as the art of associating symbols and creating meaning out of them a predecessor of language, or does it come after as a consequence of those languages? Let's see. Cave drawings goes back to art, goes back to interpretation, and it tells a story. So reading symbols is an act of reading. Full stop. I'm not diving into that anymore. Is everything that can be read with meaning a language? In and of itself, yes, because it's trying to communicate. It's trying to communicate an idea. It's trying to communicate a directive. It's trying to communicate a story. It's trying to communicate something. And communication is language. Whether it be in symbols, whether it be in words, whether it be written, whether it be audio, whether it be touch, whether it be visual. So I think communication can be interpreted as language. Not a full language, but language. And that's communication right there. Mention a few languages that defy the conventional conception of what language is. Cave drawings, right? Doesn't that work? Cave drawings, hieroglyphics. That tells stories. Native American songs. Visual. Signs. Like traffic signs. Like if I'm at an airport in Paris, I can navigate pretty good based on symbols. And things are in English too. But if I didn't understand the language, I can still get to where I need to be. If I'm on the metro in another country, I can follow the map to see where I'm going, and the map communicates to me where we're at. So, yes. Could a book be written in any of those languages? I probably wouldn't read it. Hieroglyphics, I'm sure. I'm sure there's books out there like it. Like A House of Leaves, picture edition. I'm sure. I probably wouldn't read it, so. Last question. If you could boundlessly read, understand the meaning of one of those languages, which would it be and why? This is going way off. I would love to understand hieroglyphics. I was big into Egyptian culture when I was small. That was the time when there were a lot of museum things going on. I think Tutankhamun came to the States. Something came to the States, and it was like rocking the world, like in the late 70s. So I would love to be able to read hieroglyphics. How's that? I used to have a cartouche. I used to have a hieroglyphic necklace. And I don't remember exactly what it said, but it has like 3 things on it. I think I still have it. But yeah, I'm going to say hieroglyphics. You know, because Egyptians and all. All right. So, and why? Because it's cool. All right. I'm going to tag some cerebral people that I know are brainy and like to talk about this kind of stuff. So I'm going to tag Shannon from Shannon's Bookish Musings and Music. I'm going to tag, you know what? I'm going to tag Michael Romeo Talks Books. I think he'd be good at this. Who else? Give me one more. Read by Fred, did you do this? I'm going to tag you, Read by Fred. It's right up your alley. All right, everyone, I hope you're doing well. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. And I will see you in my next video, whether that be sooner or later. So until next time, everyone, good night. And goodbye for now.